Women express attraction through a language most men are never taught to understand, and the signals you're missing are the ones that matter the most. Here's the uncomfortable truth. She's already communicated everything you need to know. You just weren't listening to the right channel. This isn't about tricks. It isn't about manipulation. It's about recognizing a fundamental imbalance in how men and women communicate. One that has shaped every interaction you've had with women since the first moment you felt attraction. Men communicate overtly. Women communicate implicitly. And if you don't understand implication, you're existing in a world where half of reality is invisible. You miss chances. You misunderstand intent. You remain confused while other men seem to effortlessly get it. But it isn't instinct they possess. It's fluency. They learned to read a language you were never told existed. And this matters on a deeper level than dating. Your reality is limited by what you can perceive. If you can't decode certain signals, they effectively don't exist for you. You live in a reduced social world, one where female interest feels random, where a connection feels like chance, where you're always replaying interactions, wondering what went wrong. The man who understands these signals doesn't live in that world. He lives in a different one entirely. A world where intention has form, where interest has direction, where attraction isn't luck, it's visible. This is about perception, and perception shapes everything. Research in nonverbal communication and evolutionary psychology consistently shows that more than 70% of human communication is nonverbal. But here's the part most men never hear. Women rely on indirect communication far more than men do, not because they're deceptive, because they're adaptive. Anthropologists refer to this as plausible deniability. Psychologists call it calibrated signaling. But at its core, it's protection. Across human history, women paid heavier social costs for expressing desire, openly reputation, safety, social standing. So they evolved a different system. A signaling system that communicates interest without exposure. One that the right man recognizes and the wrong man never sees. This is why she doesn't just tell you. Not in the way you expect. She can't. Behavioral psychologist Monica Moore documented this in her observational studies of flirtation. She identified over 50 distinct nonverbal signals women use to express interest. Most men recognize fewer than 5. But these signals aren't random. They follow structure. They appear in clusters te escalate. Researchers refer to this as an interest cascade. One signal means little. 3 together suggest intent. 5 in sequence remove all doubt. The man who understands escalation lives in a different reality than the man who doesn't. So forget the obvious cues. Everyone knows about eye contact and smiling. We're going beneath that the architecture beneath female desire, the signals embedded in timing, positioning, micro-behavior, the ones most men dismiss as meaningless. Start with where she places herself, not just physically but spatially and energetically. When a woman is interested, she enters your orbit. She doesn't announce it. She doesn't explain it. She simply begins appearing near the coffee machine you use, at the gym during your usual hour, in the bookstore aisle you once mentioned liking. Once is coincidence. Twice is chance. 3 times is intention. She positions herself close enough to be noticed, far enough to remain uncommitted. This is strategic proximity. She's creating opportunities without forcing outcomes. The unaware man waits for a direct approach. The perceptive man realizes the environment itself is being shaped. She isn't coming to you, she's arranging moments where you come to her. And if you don't, she fades away without conflict, without clarity, as if nothing ever happened. This is why so many men believe women aren't interested. They're waiting for direct action while she's already acted repeatedly in a language they never learned to read. And here's the paradox. When a woman is deeply interested, she doesn't always give more attention. Sometimes she gives less, but it's a higher quality form of less. She may not message constantly, but when she does, the messages are thoughtful and intentional. She may not stare during conversation, but when you look away, her eyes return to you. She may not laugh loudly in a group, but weeks later she recalls a private reference no one else noticed. This is selective attention, high investment attention. Casual friendliness is evenly distributed. Attraction is regulated. Inconsistency isn't disinterest, it's management. She's controlling exposure, vulnerability, and risk. Studies show that attraction raises cortisol levels in women, not harmful stress, but high-stakes arousal. She's nervous, so she pulls back just enough to feel safe. But never completely. There is always a thread left intact, a door left slightly open, and she checks to see if you notice it. Watch her hands, not her words. Does she adjust her hair when you enter? Smooth her clothing after you speak? Reposition herself to face your angle? Ethologists call this preening, a biological impulse to enhance appearance in the presence of a potential mate. It's unconscious, her body reacts before her mind intervenes. The key isn't the behavior, it's the timing. If she does it constantly, it's habit. If it happens in direct response to your arrival, your eye contact, your voice, that's signal. Her biology is speaking even when her mouth isn't. And most men miss it because they're listening for words. Touch follows a gradient. Touch follows a gradient. Interested women don't initiate boldly. They test. Touch begins with proximity, a brush in an uncrowded space, a knee touching under the table, contact that lingers just long enough to register. That pause is the message. If it were accidental, she'd withdraw instantly. Instead, she waits, watches, measures your response. Do you tense, pull away, ignore it? Or do you stay present? If you pass, the gradient continues. Fingers, brushing when passing objects, a hand on your arm during laughter, adjusting your collar under some harmless excuse. The reason is the cover. The touch is the message. Touch increases oxytocin, bonding chemistry. Women understand this instinctively, so when she's interested, every contact is calibrated, natural, deniable, and intentional. If you never respond in kind, she concludes you're uninterested, and the gradient stops. Quietly, permanently. Time is the real currency of desire. When a woman is interested, look at where her time actually goes. Not what she claims, what she The uninterested woman says she's busy and offers nothing else. The interested woman says she's busy Thursday and suggests Saturday. That counteroffer is everything. She replies consistently, even when overwhelmed. She remembers small details weeks later. She asks follow-up questions that prove she's been thinking about you when you weren't there. This is cognitive investment. People don't invest mental energy without anticipated reward. If she's remembering you, modeling you, constructing a narrative around you, she's building a future internally, even if she never names it, and she waits to see if you contribute. When a woman wants you, she integrates herself into your space. She leaves trace, a forgotten jacket, a hair tie, a barista who knows her order because she's always there with you. This is nesting behavior. Territory marking. She also invites you into her space casually. Dinner, a show, errands. These are compatibility tests inside her world. And she defends that territory. Other men get deflection. Boundaries. Soft rejections. She protects the space she's reserving for you. Animals defend resources they plan to use. So, listen to what she says, but listen harder to what she means. Women speak in implication. The surface statement is rarely the true message. I don't usually do this means you're the exception. I'm not looking for anything serious means she's protecting herself. We should hang out sometime means propose something concrete. Uncertain language isn't disinterested, it's deniability. She's offering possibility with an escape route, and she watches whether you meet her there. She says, I'm bad at cooking. You say, me too. Miss, you say, then, I'll cook for you sometime. Received. There is no second chance. This isn't about games, it's about comprehension. Women aren't trying to confuse you. They're communicating within a system shaped by risk, history, and social cost. And if you're not fluent, you're not inferior or uninformed. But literacy can be learned. You can train perception. You can learn patterns. You can respond, not manipulate, but meet her where she already is, because she's already bridging the gap from her side. Most men never cross. They stay confused. They complain. They wait. But the men who learned this language see a different world, one where women are signaling constantly, where interest is structured, where attraction is readable, where connection isn't chance. It's literacy. She's been speaking the entire time in proximity, attention, touch, time, territory, and subtext. The signals were always there. The only question is whether you're finally ready to learn how to read them.